So we are now going to work on discovering the signature for G major. So we're going to start with the note G, and we're going to go a whole step because the pattern is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And we're going to map that pattern on the G scale. Well, we know that the octave will be another G. So we have to fill in the notes between G and G. Whole step would be to A, G, A to another whole step would be A to B. So that looks perfect. They're two white notes anyway. So it's G, A, B. And looky here, we have a half step between B and C, and we need that half step in the structure. Two whole steps and a half step. It's the same pattern as C major. Same pattern in G. I like that. We don't have to do anything. All white notes. Now, we've arrived on the fourth step scale degree. Now, we did do, whole step, half. Now we need whole step, half. So C, we're on the fourth step of scale of G, is G, whole step to A, whole step to B, half step to C. Now we need a whole step from C up to D. Good. Whole step up to E, whole step up to... Wait a minute, let's start again. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That doesn't sound like da. I don't understand what to do. It's all white notes, right? Do, whole step, half, whole step, half. I don't know. Is that a whole step that I did? Do, whole step, half. C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is not a whole step. What do I do? G. Does it sound like a major scale? Yeah, it sounds like it. Does it really sound like a major scale? How do we get a whole step from F? Do, re, do, whole step, half, whole step to E, whole step. It's got to be a different note. What could it be? Well, that's what you have to discover. So go and figure out what the correct key signature of G major is and let me know. Wait a minute, that sounded good. That's a black note. Are you allowed to use a black note? Well, in order to fulfill, do, whole step, half step, B to C, whole step C to D, whole step D to E, whole step to F sharp, half step to G. So now you have discovered the G major scale. The key signature is 1 sharp. So if you look at a piece of music and you see a treble clef, which looks like a big G with a circle under it, and 1 sharp with a 2 and a 2, a little sharp, only 1 sharp there, you're probably in the key of G major. If not, you might be in its sister key, E minor, because it shares the same 1 sharp key. Just like in C major, where you can have the scale built on the 6th scale degree on A, in G major, you could play its minor scale, same key signature of 1 sharp, in E minor. So starting on E, the next note, Do. Well, this is a whole new structure. It's Do, whole step, half step. We're just going to play the G major scale starting on E. So we have E, F sharp, which is the distinguishing black note in G major, F sharp. But now we're pulling back to the 6th scale degree, and we need that 7th note, which is F sharp, not F natural. So once we hit that black F sharp in E minor, then everything else is white. White, black, and then white, 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 white. I was just practicing that fingering with the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, from all my students have I gained wisdom, a Jewish expression. It'd be great if I practiced scales. G major scale, and I feel happy that I have facility in playing an E minor scale now. It's like having a Maserati and taking it out for a ride. If you want to do 2 scales, like a 2-scale octave, you just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then with another thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play a double octave. 3 octaves. Fun. Great. And then the left hand would be a different voicing. So as you see, all these different ideas and concepts come into play. So we've got to try to keep me on track here. So we're learning the scales now, and it's very important that I instruct you in getting a handle on all the keys. So we've done C major, which is all white notes, and you see the structure of 2 black notes and 3 black notes, and you have whole step, half, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. You see it. Then you have G major. It's not so easy to see it, but it's easy to see that F sharp, and you know you're going to play your 4th finger on that F sharp. So thumb, 2, 3, thumb on C, 2nd finger on D, 3rd finger on E, 4th finger on F sharp, pinky on E, G. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Can't wait to teach you the chords of each key, because I'm teaching you these scales, but the important thing here is once you know the notes of the scale, each note becomes a little world unto itself, a harmony, a distinct harmony. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 more scales, and then we'll get into our advanced harmony understanding of the scales, the deeper structure of the chords within each scale. So we're going on the clock. We're at 12 o'clock is C major, 1 o'clock is 5 notes up from G, C, D, E, F, G, and now we're going to go another 5 from G to D. So we're starting on D major, which is going to be 2 o'clock on the clock. 2 o'clock because we have 2 sharps, and our job is to discover which 2 notes are sharp. So let's use our structure. Do, whole step, half, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. D. I'll take my bass note. D. Whole step to E. Whole step to F sharp. Aha! We got to remember that F sharp. No, it's not a minor scale. Don't use the F. We already used F sharp. Let's keep that F sharp in the mix. Do, whole step, whole step. Now it's easy to go from F sharp to G for our half step, and we're back to white notes. So Do, D is our Do. Going climbing up 2 half steps or a whole step to E. 2 half steps or a whole step up to F sharp. Do, whole step, whole step. Now a half between F sharp, and G. Good. So let's do the first 4 notes in the scale. We're halfway there. D, E, whole step, F sharp, another whole step from E, and then a half step to G. Play that. D, E, F sharp, G. If you want to play thumb, second finger, third finger, thumb. So the Addams Family. And you can see how they came up with that melody. Alright? Now, once we arrive on the fourth scale degree on G, we're there, we're set. We did do, whole step, half. Now we got whole step, half, starting on G. So we got G as our starting point, and we're going to go whole step to A. So now we've got D, whole step, half, whole step to A, whole step to B, whole step to C, half step to D. So D is a white note, E is a white note, F sharp is a black note, half step to G. It's got to sound like a major scale. Has to sound like it's arriving somewhere, like G major. T, do, T, do, T, do. Same thing in D. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp is your discovery note. Aha! D, 2 black notes in D major. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, fingerings. 1, 2, 3, thumb on G, 1, 2, fourth finger again on your black note, C sharp, D. So, the key signature of D major would be 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, 2 black notes. And as you play your D major scale, you should be able to visualize where they are. One is towards the beginning of the scale on the 3rd note, F sharp, the 3rd and 7th note of the scale. 3 and 7 are very important. Okay, so we've now built 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. If we go up another fifth from D, now the way you count that is just a little bit different than the way we've been counting whole steps and half steps. The way we count that fifth is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're counting that as 1, not as 0. And that's the same way you count intervals. So when we come back to intervals, we'll just count the step number of the scale. So from 1 to 2 is a second. From 1, 2, 3, that's a third. From the root to the 4th is a 4th. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th, you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 ways of counting, and that's could be confusing. But if you know when to count, if you're just counting half steps and whole steps, then starting point is 0. Counting intervals, then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 up from D, D, E, F, G, A, or D, E, F sharp, G, A, either way, gets you up to an A, 3 o'clock on the scale. So 3 o'clock means 3 sharps. Now, mind you, we already discovered F sharp and C sharp, and as we go up the cycle of fifths, we're going to keep the F sharp and the C sharp in our orbit, in our mix, and we're going to need yet another note. We discovered that the G major scale, we needed the 7th note in F sharp, and the new note in D major was its 7th note, C sharp. C sharp, D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, 2 black notes in D major. Now we're going to A major, and we're looking for its new sharp. And based on that pattern, you may discover that its new sharp would be the 7th note right before A. G sharp, the 7th note, the half step below the octave. A, G sharp. That's our new note. But now we have to see where A major is and what it looks like and feels like, and practice A major many times so that it's in our eye and in our mind's eye. So let's build the A major scale from scratch. A is the starting point. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. 2 whole steps, half step, 3 whole steps, and another half step. Okay? So, A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp. You see, from B to C is a half step, and from C to C sharp is a half step, the closest interval we could find on the piano. Whether it's going white to black, black to white, it's the next ascending scale note. So, here comes an aside. We could talk about the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is 12 half steps up the scale, going in succession up the scale, counting every single note. It's a little different from our major scale. And the way you play this is with a thumb and a middle finger or the second finger, because they're long. And then thumb, second finger, third finger to get back up. So here's our chromatic scale. C, C sharp D, D sharp E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C. Just to point out where the half steps go, because sometimes you don't see and understand how to not skip a note when you're counting half steps. So, A major scale. A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, half step to D. That's the first tetrachord of A major. A, whole step B, whole step C sharp, half step D, A, B, C sharp, D, halfway home. The Addams Family could be played in A major too? Right? If you're a nerd, you'll go listen to the Addams Family and see what key they actually played. I'm a nerd, but I'm not going to go do that now because I'm going to try to stay focused. So, you don't have to be a nerd to look it up. You may just want to offer that as extra credit, depending on how nerdy you want to be. So, but in college, you never know what kind of professors you're going to get. Most of them are nerds, but some of them are professional nerds. But if they've achieved something great in life, you don't want to knock them for their achievements, despite their nerdiness. In any case, I really don't care what key the Addams Family was recorded in. It's just the idea that can be played in any key. Okay, so we have A major, first tetrachord, A, B, C sharp, D. Part of my teaching approach is that I throw in something that's interesting and exciting, a little challenge. Oh, he called me a nerd. So that may keep your interest, maybe. So now we want to complete the A major scale. We have A, whole step to B, whole step C sharp, half step to D. You could practice it, you could see it. You start where the A is, where the apes are in the cage, on where the 3 black notes is, the one in the middle but towards the right. That's your A. Put your thumb there. Second finger goes on B, which is the back of the cage, to the right of the 3 black notes. Second finger. Third finger goes on C sharp, and we're going to roll our wrist up to the right and elbow out a little bit, and we're going to have our thumb ready for D. Half step, so it's Do, whole step, half step to D. Now we need whole step, half step. So from D to E is our first whole step. E to F sharp is the second whole step. F sharp to G sharp is the third whole step. And now a half step from G sharp to A. You have to do it on the piano. A, B, whole step. Another whole step to C sharp. Half step to D. Halfway there. Whole step to E. Whole step to F sharp. Whole step to G sharp. Half step to A. So we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. The pattern would be 2 white notes, A, B, a lonely black note, C sharp, thumb on D for 2 more white notes, 2 more black notes, and then a white note. So it's white, white, black, white, white, black, black, white, 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 black, white, white, black, black, white, 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 black, white, white, black, black, white. So you have 2 white notes, a little black note, 2 more whites, 2 more blacks, and a white. 2 whites, black, 2 whites, 2 blacks. 2 whites, a black, 2 whites, 2 blacks. 2 whites, a black, 2 whites, 2 blacks, and another half step to a white. So many different ways you could look at it. It might be also wise to play a descending scale. Once you've gone up, what goes up must come down. It's fun to be able to practice your fingers and gain strength on playing those white, black, white, white, black, black, white. Keep your fingers curved. Lean into the piano a little bit. So, we've discovered and created, using the structure of whole step, half step, whole step, half step, 3 major scales on the clock, of which there are 12 keys. C major, 12 o'clock. G major, 1 sharp. D major, 2 sharps. A major, 3 sharps. Wow, you've accomplished a tremendous amount, and I see that we've gone another 20 minutes. Isn't that wonderful? So, now that we've learned C major, D, G major, D major, A major, 4 scales out of 12, we've learned 1/3 already of the cycle of fifths. Now that's a pretty great accomplishment right there. 1/3 of the cycle of fifths in 42 minutes. Feel like WINS. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the news. Well, I'll give you the blues. So we have a lot more to accomplish in terms of our understanding of where the chords fit in. So that will be our next lesson. We will learn now the structure of the chords, how to build a chord, and how that fits into your major scales. So we look forward to seeing you in lesson number 3. Thank you.